Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope everybody's enjoying their Tuesday. Guys, we've got some important things to talk about in this video. We're going to be bringing to you a new deal that John O'Connor, we got both his first and second name wrong there. Anyway, John O'Connor is essentially working on right now. We're going to read this tweet out. We're going to discuss this deal. And something clicked in my head yesterday, guys, because we spoke about the World Economic Forum. We referenced this PDF that came out by them. By the way, for those of you who don't know, and this is the first time you're hearing of this, the World Economic Forum has people like Christine Lagarde, Larry Fink, I think it's David Rubenstein, so the Carlyle Group, the BlackRock Investment Group, and the European Central Bank, the biggest hitters in the whole financial world, essentially on the board of the World Economic Forum, and they have actually mentioned in this PDF Cardano by name. I'll leave the link in the description because I didn't leave it in yesterday's video. Some people were annoyed about that. We also covered this tweet from them where cryptocurrencies can enable global financial inclusion. And that is exactly what Cardano is doing, ladies and gentlemen. And it's one reason I believe Cardano is going to play such a fundamental role in the future that we are moving towards. Thus is going to accrue value. I know there's a lot of people out there that do not like discussing. These die-hard Cardano people say, look, we don't want to talk about the price. We're all about the tech and we're all about this, that, the other. I don't think there's anything wrong with being in the crypto space to make money. It's why I got into the space. I stuck around because, I didn't have much luck when I first got in. I got in 2017 and then the markets dived, and I stuck around really because my philosophical views really align with the whole decentralized, really align with what Bitcoin's trying to do and the fact that we're trying to come up with a fairer system of finance that doesn't penalize the many and benefit the few. But essentially, one reason I'm so bullish on Cardano, like I say, is because they are going after Africa, and this is part of, we know what the kind of global agenda is. We know what the people like the World Economic Forum are trying to do. They're trying to essentially capture, and that's probably the best word to describe it, everybody. So they're going to onboard the unbanked and really extend those financial shackles that we have in the West to everybody. And a lot of Cardano, a lot of Africa. As a continent, I mean, Africa is the poorest continent in the world, but a lot of countries in Africa, you can have up to 70% of people don't even have bank accounts. They don't even have basic things like identification. Cardano is looking to solve that problem. We've already seen them sign that colossal deal with the Ethiopian government for the educational side of things, where they're going to essentially, people are going to have an educational profile. That's 5 million users. This is a 1 million user plus deal that John O'Connor is essentially going after. I'll read the tweet. We'll do a little bit of theorizing on it, and we're really going to be drawing a conclusion on kind of what is going on here, guys, because there are too many dots that I'm connecting right now to suggest that, and yes, there's a lot of speculation involved, but in a previous video, we'd spoke about how there is around about $7 trillion of untapped value in Africa. Cardano going after this, and I'm going to show you some very clear evidence of this in a second, but let's just talk about this deal that John O'Connor has essentially leaked. Today, I wrote a letter to a president, found 1 million users to bring onto Cardano, and had a damn good cup of coffee. It's only midday, looking forward to the afternoon, love being a part of Input-Output HK gang. So, what could he be hinting at here? Well, we know that they already have their feet under the table with quite a few countries in Africa, Tanzania, Ethiopia, and in that kind of region, which is quite a poor, in terms of, poor regions in Africa, that's that side of Africa is quite poor. So essentially, the fact, could this be a telling sign where he said, I had a damn good cup of coffee? We know that Cardano, Charles had previously spoken about, supply chains and how Cardano can help people. How in somewhere like Ethiopia, you have really rich, nice coffee. Some of the best coffee in the world comes from Ethiopia. However, the people there, the farmers, have a real supply chain issue. And he was talking about how Cardano can solve this. Can you see the kind of use cases that Cardano has in somewhere like Africa? If it works in somewhere like Africa, which arguably could be one of the hardest places because of the infrastructure over there, in terms of internet, in terms of bandwidth, etc., etc., if they can prove and make things work, and they are making things work, bearing in mind we don't even have smart contracts yet, which is coming, and this is going to unlock the next kind of level of adoption for Cardano, not just in Africa, but as the world globally. could this be a hint here when he's talking about cup of coffee? Like I say, Charles has spoken about the supply chains and the big issues that they have in places like Ethiopia and other parts of Africa, and how Cardano can solve that. Now let's go on to John O'Connor's. I keep calling him James for some reason. John O'Connor's Twitter, because there's a lot of interesting stuff here. And by the way, guys, World Mobile are working very, very closely with John O'Connor and the Cardano input-output headquarters, essentially. Here, you can essentially hear them talk about it. What we'll do, guys, very quickly, is we will listen to what they're saying here.
Being left out by traditional telco. So we've got this model, right, of being able to expand into potentially rural areas which have been left out by traditional telcos. And we'd like to make sure that people are incentivized to expand this network. Explain how this would work to me when we're talking about giving lower cost internet access to those regions which have been underserved. And explain also how this fits in with the solar model which you guys have talked about.
Solar is just a way to create energy where there's no grid. You need a battery, you need a solar power, and you work backwards from there. So we know that our node is consuming very little power. I mean, 20, maybe 50 watts at the peak of usage. So that you really don't need a lot of energy.
And I just thought we'd play that, because what I'm really trying to show you here, guys, is Cardano are literally trying to build. Now, one of the only people that are trying to do it successfully and in an energy efficient, sustainable way. They are literally trying to build the very infrastructure that is going to allow Africa, or countries in Africa, I should say, to flourish and to actually, get onboarded with the kind of global financial world. And this is huge. Here he says yearly remittance in sub-Sahara Africa is 48 billion market, and 50% of that goes to a single country, Nigeria. With stable coins and Hydra, Cardano Africa is looking to disrupt this. 58 billion, guys. You are currently, right now, and bearing in mind, half of that goes to Nigeria, probably for whatever reason. That's, essentially the same size as the entire market cap for Cardano. When I say to you on this channel that, and it's not just Cardano, by the way, guys, we're in a lot of different cryptos. We just choose to talk about Cardano because, what they're doing. This is a prime example of why we talk about Cardano, because the news is continuously good and they are really doing what they say they are. Essentially, the stable coins are going to really become more of a thing when we have smart contracts and really kind of show through. And you can see that this is just one relatively small use case for Cardano. There's a lot more things that they can do. We know they're involved in education, they're going to be involved in supply chains, they're going to be involved in financial protocols with the smart contracts. You don't even have smart contracts yet, guys, and look at where you are. And people go, is Cardano a good investment? I can't tell you whether it is or not, but hopefully what I'm showing you today maybe after Cardano smart tracks, we'll need developers who can write them. That's why we plan on there's just so much going on. And this, I don't know why I haven't come to this guy's Twitter more often, because he is, on the ground and really working on that infrastructure. And if you go with what the World Economic Forum are saying, Cardano are very much aligned with them, and cryptocurrencies can enable global financial inclusion. Here they've tagged JP Morgan, they've tagged another of other institutions. This is really the world we're moving towards, and like I say, Cardano is going to play a big role in it. And the fact they mentioned it, by name, is a real telltale sign to me, guys, that there's a lot more going on here than behind the scenes. We know that Charles actually works with the regulators quite heavily. He's made sure he has to do that because they are really the guys that call the shots. If they decide that they want to push regulations against you, that will have devastating effects. Now let's have a look at the charts, guys. We always like to have a look at this. Everything looks pretty much the same as yesterday. You can see that you are above your EMA. I don't know why people don't like EMAs and using EMAs. People say, oh, well, they're a lagging indicator, but to me, they're a very good sign of strength and weakness. You can see you're relatively weak right now because you're coming up, you're wicking, and look at where the wicks land, guys. They land pretty much perfectly on this EMA. That, to me, is a sign of weakness. Until you see any kind of a breakthrough, with momentum, and you get back above this, you're still downtrending. And ultimately, we know Cardano is essentially just tethered to Bitcoin. Bitcoin has broken out, but we drew this level of resistance for you around about the 41k mark. This has been resistance historically. If we go back to before If we go back to sort of January, the start of the year, you could see it acted as resistance a number of times there, and as previously in this sell-off acted as resistance. So we need to get through that to allow the entire market to flourish. So much good news coming out for Cardano, guys. This is another deal that we are going to hear about soon. I have tried to get a little bit more information, but it just doesn't seem to be out there yet. So we are going to get told the full story of what this is. I have a feeling it's going to be to do with supply chains and possibly coffee. You know, and had a damn good cup of coffee. That really rings true in my ears. So yeah, that is really all I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen. I just thought we'd go over that, and we really want to, you know, keep the fire lit in your bellies in regards to blockchain and, you know, some of the fantastic projects that have come out of it, like Cardano, because I do believe, and I've taken this bet, and bet isn't the right word to call it because there's a lot of distinction between investing and gambling, that by investing in these early protocols, and you are still early, remember Cardano really only hit the markets in 2017, and, you know, whether that was a good or bad time, you know, only really hit the markets here kind of in the middle of the bull market. You know, you're still very early, guys, and you have a real opportunity to invest the same way that people in the kind of dot-com boom and after that had a fantastic opportunity to invest in the very companies that would make up the kind of financial realm that we have today. So just a short video, guys. I just thought this was interesting. I really want to share it because, I mean, I really dug into this John O'Connor. And I like what, you know, this guy is on the ground. He's trying to do this. They're doing it in a sustainable way. They're doing it in an eco-friendly way, and they're doing it in an all-inclusive way. And this, you know, really, you know, when you think about the World Economic Forum and how they want to onboard everybody, you know, they've got this kind of global agenda. You know, something like blockchain is going to play a fundamental role in that. And that's why one reason I have hundreds of why I am so convinced that blockchain is the new thing and is going to do very well out of it. So charting wise, we're just really looking at Bitcoin. It is very common that you come back and you will test your resistance that you broke out of before making an impulsive move. We're not seeing anything we don't like. We do think you broke out, and we do ultimately still stand on the fact that we believe you've bottomed. And we think there's a number of telling things in the RSI, etc., etc. But this isn't really a charting video, just some good news for you. Look at what they're doing in Africa, guys, because I think it holds a lot more keys than we like to give it credit for. I'm going to love and leave you on that note, guys. Have a fantastic Tuesday, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next YouTube video. So leave me a like, comment, always appreciated. I want to know your feedback. Tell me ways, if you have negative comments, but they're constructive in terms of criticism, let me know, guys. I'm all for it. I do read all the comments. Please watch out for the scammers. It's getting ridiculous now in the comment section. It doesn't matter how many times I report these, another 10 will pop up. I don't know how nothing's being done about this. And it's going to become a real issue, I think, in, you know, as it progresses. So that's all I have for you in this video, guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. I will see you all in the next one, hopefully. Have a great day.